Okay, hi everyone. This is Jim Sporer and Christina Young. We're discussing the ISSIP certification and course material, and we've just had a very good discussion that I want to summarize briefly. Um, and Christine, jump in as you. I'll pause after each one of these. So I think the first question you said is, okay, we've got these 100 questions, but we've got like for each question, we've got like a book and a article and sometimes a Coursera course. And so how much do we expect people to actually have to read to get this certification, to be able to pass the quiz? And I think the answer is going to be about 60 pages, Christine. And did you want to say any more about that question you asked?
Yeah, I think this is reasonable. Yeah, 60 pages, and especially if we um, mm, lay it out pretty clearly in the study guide, um, I think it's doable.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason I think it's going to be about 60 pages is because we have 6 areas of knowledge,
Yeah,
right? We've
yeah,
got
yeah,
the
yeah.
disciplines, we've got the industry sectors, we've got the culture geography, we got the advanced technology, the work practices and the mindset. So if we've got like for each of those areas, if there's 10 major things that someone should know, that'll come out to be about 60 pages. And
Hmm.
then, obviously, if they want to go deeper, they can read the book, they can take the Coursera course, they can, on any one of those areas, they can go deeper. But I think
Hmm.
if somebody were to memorize those 60 pages, they could score
Hmm.
very, very well on the
Yeah,
test.
yeah,
And
80%.
yeah. And then I think the other question we talked about was the pricing. And again, we're thinking $100 to get the quiz, the 100 questions, and that'll be personalized. So everybody that wants it gets their own unique version of it. And, it'll be, I'm thinking right now it will be kind of like an HTML document that's, the ordering of the correct answers will be scrambled, but it'll have 100 questions and people can, submit their answers. Maybe there'll be a hint thing and additional resources. It'll be a little bit more elaborate than this little simple example, but once we have all the questions that you know have been checked and they're put in a standard format in a spreadsheet, then it's very easy to write a Python program to generate the HTML quiz. And for that, they pay $100. And then once they get like, we said probably 80% is enough. Once you've scored 80% on your quiz, then you can request for $500, you can request an interview, a 1 hour interview with some expert like me or you or someone, Haluk, um, and that $500 for the 1 hour interview, that's where you really get the certification. And you
Yeah,
have to know your stuff in order to get that certification. And then
right.
we also discussed that some of our bigger sponsors, like Fraunhofer, Penn State University, they'll probably get a certain number of them for free. But if we're doing 10 certification a month and we start getting organizations like Fraunhofer and Penn State University with a number of people and all, of course, our ISIP leadership, once we
Hmm.
start having more and more people with this ISIP certification on their LinkedIn profile, that'll create the initial improvement loop to make this more and more valuable over time. And
Hmm.
Christine, did that make sense? And
Yep, yep, absolutely. Hmm.
yeah, and we can check with Terry. She did the pricing, and Haluk, they both thought the pricing was good. I think the
Hmm.
other thing that we discussed, and I've put these in the ISIP Slack here, was uh, what the differentiation is, because you can
Hmm.
get like from the Service Design Network, you can get a service design certification. But all of these are, all the ones that are out there are kind of either in a single discipline area or they're a single industry area. And this one will be the umbrella one. The ISAP
Hmm.
one will be the umbrella one that covers, all the areas of service science, all the areas of the T-shaped innovator. So it will be more comprehensive that way.
Yep.
All right. So I think that's probably good. Um, I'm going to continue working on getting the 100 questions into the spreadsheet in the normalized form and checking all the references. I'm finding I'm having to make a lot of corrections on the references because some of them are AI
Yeah.
generated and they're approximately correct, but they don't all have the
Yeah.
correct URLs. They don't always have the correct titles or authors. So
Yeah.
I'm standardizing and correcting all of those. It's taking a little longer than I thought, but we do have.
So, so Jem, have you thought about like, I know we're gonna personalize the exam for each person. So
Yes.
then, uh, so then, overall, how many questions are we gonna give them? Like, and because it's gonna be an hour or is it a 45 minutes test? Um, have you thought about that?
Well, they'll get like 100 questions. Maybe it'll be like 105 questions because
Mm,
that's easily divisible by six. But
mm,
it'll be roughly 100 questions. And assuming
mm.
that somebody can do one question every minute,
Yeah,
it's probably going to be,
90 minutes. Yeah,
yeah, it'll probably take 2 hours to go through and
yeah,
get your initial score. And when you get your initial score, of course, if it's not above 80%, you'll also get, you know, here's the ones you missed and
yeah.
here's where you should go study a little harder in
Right,
the
right, right. Yeah,
60-page
yeah.
document or go
So,
take some of these other stuff.
so then, so then, because we only have 100 right now, so is your plan to use this 100 seed questions and then generate uh,
More,
more,
more and
more?
better,
Yeah.
more and
Okay.
better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Once we have the basics, then we can start working on more and better. And
Mm,
there's two ways everybody gets a unique quiz, right?
mm, mm.
One way is really simple in the Python program, and that's just to randomly scramble the order of the distractors, right? So,
Yeah.
so if you decide to take the quiz and I decide to take the quiz, you can't just go A, B, B, A for
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
one, same
Yeah.
for me. It's going to be
Right.
scrambled. So
Right.
we'll each have a unique ordering. So that's one kind of personalization. The
Yeah.
other kind of personalization is something that Penn State University and Haroon Abu
Mm.
are going to be working on. There's going to be a student team working on using AI to generate,
Okay. Yeah, I think you mentioned it, yeah, earlier. Right. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
based on
So
a
we have a
persona.
team. We have a student team who can help us with that. That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but MIT and Harvard came out with a 8.3 billion persona AI system. I don't know if you saw
Right.
that or not. They basically tried to create a persona for everybody on the planet.
Yeah.
8.3
Uh,
billion people for so obviously that's going to be so-so at the beginning, but eventually, yeah, there will be, these amazing personalization type capabilities with AI. So we'll get the students to explore that, reference that MIT Harvard paper. Haroon will have some fun mentoring them, giving them some.
yeah, I think one thing we gotta somehow as an ISSIP, as a community, right? One message we need to get out there is really we need to uh what I put it perhaps like promote this kind of a mindset that because a lot of us we are just consuming AI as a tool, right? We use them as a tool,
Right.
but and then we kind of just feed on whatever the AI sort of feed us, whatever that we were seeking, right?
Yeah.
But I think so. So we are now more of an AI user,
Hmm.
uh, but then I think in the near future, right, or sooner the better,
Hmm.
that I think we need to really become, we really need to like say, um, you know, so from that's why I think this is really tied to the innovation side of it, that we really wanted to have the ideas, right, and then make AI our partner, and then we use AI to create things. Okay, instead of
Yes.
we just consume AI, right? And just take whatever the AI feed us. So I think that there's a mindset shift.
Mhm.
So this I know. I mean, like Kevin, of course, they wrote a book about it. This is
Mhm.
the collaborator, right? I think that's becoming. I mean, I'm also trying to remind myself, not just to kind of just like lose my own thinking. We just kind of heavily rely, depend on AI, right?
Yeah.
Just at least keep myself like as the one as the driver, okay, at least.
That's right.
So then, I think, and then the ask the right questions and uh, because AI can always find answers, hopefully, among all the knowledge,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ocean, right? But then I think asking the right questions really key, and then really like you have your own ideas, right? And then use AI to create things. I think that is really really important moving
Yeah.
forward,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. And
Right?
as a partner to co-create,
Yeah.
and not just with the AI, but with other people as well. I mean,
Oh yeah, of course. Yes. Yes.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. Right now, the AI isn't very good, so you have to do a lot of checking,
Yeah. Right.
like I'm doing. I'm discovering.
Yeah.
It's a nice fast way to start though, right? It's really
Yeah.
really quick, and but if you don't do the critical thinking, like you said, if you don't do
Yeah.
your own brain power,
Yeah.
then you get de-skilled, and we don't want
Right.
de-skilling
Exactly.
in society. So absolutely right. I
Right.
totally
And then I was just wondering, for your work, I know it's very tedious.
yeah.
I don't know whether this would help or actually be a distractor. Like you use another AI to kind of help you
I
to
think
say,
it'd be a
okay, double check,
distractor.
triple check.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it would be a distractor at this phase just
Okay.
because it would be making
Yeah.
a lot of mistakes that I would have to correct. So I'd rather
Yeah.
just
Because eventually you will have to go through it anyway.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
might as well just, it's only
Yeah.
100 questions, right? It's not
Yeah.
like it's not even an
Yeah, I
email.
actually did that,
Yeah.
when I was working on all this stuff for IBM,
Yeah.
it's asking SMEs to double check to validate. Yeah, I mean, it's such a pain.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's like, 6 minutes per question I spend roughly. So that's going to be 600 minutes. That's 10 hours, right? And
but you are motivated though,
yeah.
whereas the SMEs they are not because they are thinking, okay, if you build this thing AI
Mm,
system, then you basically digest all my knowledge, you absorb all my knowledge into that tool, you suck everything into that tool, and
mm.
then I will get replaced very soon, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, like I say, I've always thought there's only two big problems with AI. I mean, there's three, two that you have to worry about is the bad actors, just basically using AI
Yeah,
for
a bad thing.
for
Yeah,
bad purposes. And like I
yeah.
would say, an employer who says, I'm going to just automate all my people and get rid of them. I think that is not, some people will do
But
that, but I don't think it's
But
a
a
good.
lot of companies are because they are forced. Because if they don't do it, other companies do it. Then they can't compete. They'll
Yeah,
lose the competitive edge. Yeah,
eventually you shoot yourself in the foot there because,
I
you
totally
know,
agree with you. Yeah, that's my argument too. I said it will come back and hurt you.
it will definitely come back and hurt them. There'll be like
Yeah,
labor union
yeah.
uprisings like you've never seen before. And
But then the thing is,
mhm,
see, we have IP laws, right? We
right.
protect the intellectual property, but usually it's very well described, okay, or defined in a way that okay, it has to be a structure, or a method of building something, okay, building that structure, right? But then all this critical thinking, the design, all the method, how do I say it, the philosophy, and then the methodology behind certain things, okay, that then SME has, okay, it's not easily summarized, or even if it can, but it's not. currently protected by IP law.
Yeah, but there's, there's a lot of factors here, right? Um, because eventually an economy needs people who are motivated to use new and advanced technologies, right? We want
Hmm.
lots of people to be excited, oh, I'm going to do my startup finally, or I'm going to
Right.
be more productive, or I'm going to be the best person at this. So you want the positive benefits from new technologies and the growth of the economy. Um,
Right.
and there's a lot of factors there, right? Like right now, I always tell people, look, your labor is only going to make you um, pay your bills. If you want to be wealthy, you have to invest. You have to be a
Hmm.
shareholder in these companies. So a lot of people are
Yeah.
saying, okay, we're going to shift from, to employee stock purchase programs on steroids, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You're going to be, you're not just going to be replaced by the AI, you're going to be given shares in the company. So as the
Mm.
company, yeah, maybe eventually your job is eliminated, but you just got 10,000 shares in the company or 20,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that kind of model would work. Yes,
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah,
so the models have to shift, the social contract has to shift so that the
right,
incentives shift so that
right,
people are excited about being replaced.
right, right. Yeah,
Because
exactly. Yeah, I don't want to work, do the mundane work, and
yeah, people want to be wealthy enough to
yeah,
benefit from
yeah,
the hard work they put in, but they
yeah,
know the work isn't going to make them rich or super
right.
wealthy. The
Yeah,
work will just pay their bills, and they've got to
yeah,
have investments in order to, but it's got to be the right investments, and the incentive structures have to be set up. So I'm confident
yeah.
that, certain companies are going to figure that out, and they're going to do very, very well. And
Mm.
you could imagine a company that's primary focus is I'm going to eat all the other companies, but I'm going to
Yeah.
make everybody that's working in those companies super rich in the process, not just me. I
I
don't want to be
hope
I don't want to
you
be the richest
have
person
you
in the
looked
world.
at because I somebody just shared this the IBM group
Yeah,
like Arvin makes 40 million, almost 38 point something million last year.
yeah,
Rob Thomas like 17 point some million.
yeah,
The thing is, like, okay, I know they're important. They're making important decisions, and at the same time, hopefully, they also hold themselves accountable for those decisions. Okay, whether right or not right.
yeah.
But then at the same time, can that kind of a difference be really justified, right?
Yeah, well, I think there's a meme going around where they show the CEO of Costco and the CEO of Sam's Club, and one of them
Hmm.
earns less than $1 million a year, but all the
Hmm.
employees of Costco, for example, I think he earns 650,000 a year.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
But all of his employees have benefits. They're all earning, over 19 or 29. I can't remember what the level is. In Sam's Club, it's totally opposite. The
yeah,
CEOs get all the money, and the employees have a lot harder.
yeah,
So those are two models, and one has to
right.
say which one is going to be successful in the end. Is it going to be the Sam's Club model, or is it going to be the Costco
Mm-hmm.
model? And
Mm-hmm.
it's some people would say, oh, that's an open question. The market will decide. But I think common sense is that and I do believe the Costco people actually get shares in the company. So they not only get, benefits,
Mm-hmm.
health benefits and stuff like that, and a
Mm-hmm.
401k, but so I think that stuff gets shaken out because there's just, it's like Henry Ford, it's like if you don't
Mm.
pay your
Yeah,
employees, you don't have customers.
right.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
so you gotta, and you go through disruptive periods when people get it wrong, right? And then
Yeah.
horrible things happen, but it
Right.
eventually sorts itself out because, it's common sense.
Yeah. I just hope that, I mean, this AI thing,
Yeah.
compared to all the other technologies
Mm.
probably combined,
Yeah. Yeah.
in the past, the disruption can be huge. And I just don't know, like from a
Well,
society, the
I'm,
government, society, I mean,
Mhm.
how quickly we can really come up with the new models, new policies, new regulations, right?
Not
Um,
very quickly is the answer, unfortunately.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
But
concern,
that's
right?
why, that's why you're running the Discovery Summit that you're going to run. And, we'll discuss these issues, and I
Yep.
think that's why we're doing this certification, is we want to help people understand that to be a good innovator in the future, you really have to be able to see the world as a set of
Yeah.
interacting service systems where,
Yeah.
the mechanisms, the problems do not aren't solved by a single discipline, and
Right.
the industries have to learn from each other, and the cultures have to learn from each other, and so
Hmm.
there's a lot more to, like you said at the very beginning, there's a lot more to being a good user of AI rather than
Hmm.
just a user, to be a
Yeah.
collaborator, to be increasing your own skills, not being de-skilled.
Hmm.
I mean, that's why we do what we do,
Yeah.
is we think we have some ideas that will be helpful to other people along these dimensions.
Yep.
Hey, I have to go to get
Okay.
ready for my
Yep.
next meeting, but thank you, and
Yep.
I'll get these 100 questions normalized as quickly as I can. That's
Okay.
what I say.
Great. Thanks,
Yep.
Jim. Thanks for
Okay.
all the discussions.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Christine.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Yeah. Bye.